Hey everyone, Andrew Morrison here, also known as Andrew the Astrologer. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing and discussing my top astrological predictions and insights for the month of March. So definitely stay tuned and listen to this video all the way throughout. If you are brand new to me, I help both men and women to help them move and step into their individual power and their worth so they can elevate their income, wealth, careers, and relationships, all completely through the power of astrology. So if you are feeling compelled, make sure to hit the subscribe button below and also make sure to hit the like button below to be notified and updated when I post brand new future content and videos here on my channel. Before I get into today's video, if you are feeling cold and you are really needing an astrological reading and consultation, this is something that I do provide. I've been doing astrology professionally for many years now. And you can actually schedule that reading and consultation by sending me an email, which is posted as always down in the description down below. Also found below is a link to my free private Facebook group. Again, completely free to join. I've had that group actually for also several years now as well, and we have people all around the world. It's such a great group to be a part of as well. And again, the link is found in the description down below if you would like to be a part of that free private Facebook group. All right, now let's move into discussing about the month of March. So again, if you are brand new to me, or if you have been following me, if you have been subscribed to my channel, and you haven't checked out my previous work, my previous predictions, definitely check out especially my yearly forecasts and my main predictions for this upcoming year ahead. I actually did around 5 videos of those talking about kind of sharing my main predictions for this year. And the reason why that would be very helpful to check out those videos is because, again, to kind of repeat and reiterate myself, I talked a lot, and I have been talking a lot about the time frame from the get-go of this year, all the way from January, extending all the way until around April, so around the midpoint of April of this year, the midpoint of April towards the end of April. So again, from January of this year all the way until roughly, the middle of April towards the end, that time frame is very intense. It's very explosive. And I also did talk a lot about in my yearly forecast, I did mention specifically that this upcoming year would actually be even more intense than the previous years, the previous last year especially. And more specifically, I did talk and mention that this would be the year of more war, more chaos, more violence, more aggression, more terroristic activity, things of that sort, things of that nature. But again, it's going to be a very aggressive, very action-packed, action-oriented type of year. And this is why we are seeing the situations that we have been seeing unfolding in certain parts of the world, especially in the last couple of weeks, especially. And furthermore, I also want to touch base on the fact that I did state specifically that February and also this month of March does look and has been looking very treacherous, very intense, and very explosive. And that is why there's been so much explosive energy and more intensity with these situations that have been unfolding with all this warlike activity and energy. So, moving into the month of March. So, the first week of this month, actually, we have a very powerful, very significant new moon. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the energies of new moons are all about planting your seeds of intentions. And what I really like the most about this very powerful, very significant, important new moon right at the beginning of this week actually is that the intentions for this week are really all to do with not just health, but also more to do with healing as well. And I love this because, you know, whether you are feeling this or not, I've had so many clients express their concerns, express their anxieties and their worries just with everything transpiring right now. So, this is a really great optimal time of this week, the first week of March, to really set your intentions, to do a lot of grounding, to shed away any sort of anxiety, fear, worry, or any sort of negative emotion. Because you have to understand that health and healing, it's not just all about the physicality. There's obviously many different layers to the human essence and the human uh, body. And so, again, that is what the intentions are really speaking to me about with this first week of March, connected to the new moon. Now, March is a very, very intense month. It's a very intense time. And a lot of this energy, the energy of this month has a lot to do with not just the economy, but also government matters, government affairs is really all coming to the forefront. So not just these countries outside of the U.S. In obviously Europe and Russia and those types of countries, but with the inflation that's been going on, matters of economic concerns and issues will also be coming to the forefront. And a lot of people, just all in all, this month, especially on a personal level, it's a really great time to really get clear and get really motivated if you are trying to work more towards working towards your finances, improving your financial situations. This month has a lot to do with really stirring up the inspiration and the motivation within yourself to focus on your practical goals, your practical needs, not just here in the short term of March of this month, but extending beyond, so you are on a very positive path to come. So I'm just picking up a lot on this very big, very motivational, but very serious tone of energy that will really serve a lot of people if you decide to, ride on that train of that positive wave of energy. So I really want to not just talk about, sort of doom and gloom, sort of negative matters of this month, but I also want to talk about and touch base on something that's actually positive concerning this month of March. But all in all, it will be very intense, and something going back to my previous predictions that I have been stating for the past couple weeks, and that I also did state again in my yearly predictions, which I would encourage you to check out here on my channel. Something I did talk about as well is that, again, starting around April, the energy will start to shift, and again, things will actually become even more explosive, more intense as well. Now, speaking of intense energy, back to this month of March, something that's also very significant about this month is that we have a very big full moon that is happening actually on March 17th. And so, if you reside in the States, you would be well informed and aware that March 17th is St. Patrick's Day. And it just so happens to be that St. Patrick's Day is not quite on the weekend per se, but it's following on a Thursday, which a lot of people in the States do, party on that day, especially on Thursdays, just because it is so close to that weekend. But the reason why I want to also touch base on discussing about the full moon on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, is because I do feel like there is a lot of potential and possibility, unfortunately, for some sort of catastrophic events and circumstances unfolding on that day. And this can certainly extend into the warlike activity and aggression that is already brewing in, obviously, in Russia and Ukraine region of the world right now. But I do feel like, again, that day, March 17th, it is definitely not a day to go overboard. And so if you do decide to partake in, like going out and partying and things like that, just make sure all in all that you are, keeping it safe and taking all the precautions. Because that day, again, looks very much filled with a lot of danger and intensity. And a lot of times with astrology, it doesn't always happen right smack dab on that day, but this could be sort of give or take, whether it's shortly before March 17th or bleeding into that weekend following March 17th as well. So again, that full moon, in the upcoming weeks ahead, definitely looks very concerning, to say the least. Now, something I also did discuss in great detail as well in my yearly forecast is I talked about the time frame around February, March, April, around these months, that there's a lot of this deceptive and a lot of deceit type of energy. And I feel like, and I did mention this actually in my yearly predictions for this year that I posted around November and December of last year. And in those videos, I did talk a lot about how I feel like the media actually will be creating a lot of, again, deceitful energy and a lot of deceit going on, particularly connected to the media. And I still stand by that. And a lot of what is being, articulated isn't really the full facts. It isn't the full details. There's a little bit of this two-facedness. So again, furthermore, I feel like some of what the media is articulating going on right now with world events, and I'm not at all getting into politics. I talk a lot about that as well. I make that disclaimer. But a lot of what the media is addressing and articulating in their news stories isn't the full facts. It isn't the full details. It's sort of half truths. And unfortunately, this is, again, creating a lot of lies and deceit and denial and things of that nature, things of that sort. Now, I also want to talk about this not necessarily on not just on the world stage, but I do feel like this will also be extending into people's personal realities in the regards of this could be all across the board, whether people are being scammed. I've actually heard this a lot in my readings and consultations recently, that there's been a lot of these scams from different clients of mine. They've had issues at car dealerships. So for example, car salesmen were not fully honest. They were very deceitful and things of that sort. But again, all in all, there's this very strong, very intense, deceitful, dishonest, manipulative type of energy that I really want to fully articulate in this video, just so you are aware of. And this is really important because if something seems too good to be true, basically in the upcoming weeks ahead, especially in March as well as April, if something seems too good to be true, use your best discernment, use your intuition. At the end of the day, we all have discernment, we all have intuition. But unfortunately, we don't always go with our gut instinct. And so that is really the beauty of astrology. When we know what is ahead, we can prepare for it on all levels, on all fronts. So, all in all, March this month is going to be very intense, and the energy is going to start to shift in many different manners, many different forms and fashions, and things are going to definitely start to heat up and intensify in the upcoming weeks ahead. So I hope you greatly enjoyed my astrology forecast for March of this month. And again, if you haven't subscribed my channel, definitely hit the subscribe button, and also make sure to hit the like button below if you found today's video very helpful and informative. And again, just as a friendly reminder, if you are really needing an astrology reading and consultation, again, space is limited for those readings, but I'd love to work with you. I'm happy to help you with anything going on in your current personal realities. And again, just to reiterate here, my email is posted in the description down below to schedule that private consultation and reading. Thank you again for tuning in and listening to my March astrology forecast, and I'll see you in the upcoming videos ahead. Thank you.